The following podcast is part of the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. For advertising information or to find more great podcasts, visit us at www.theunderdogsports.com and follow us on Twitter at RealTheUnderdog.
Okay. Well, just for the record, we got the Sunny in Phoenix too. 52
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sunny in Phoenix podcast, a weekly podcast where we keep you up to date on everything Phoenix Suns basketball. My name is Charlie Erling, and as always, I'm joined by Mitch Krmpotich.
I don't know about you, but I feel good.
I don't know about you, but I feel good.
This week on the show, we'll be talking about the schedule release, and we'll be highlighting a few games that we'll be looking forward to. After that, we'll be talking about a couple new upcoming Ring of Honor inductees, and then we'll talk about a little bit of Deandre, Ayton, and Eric Gordon playing for the Bahamas.
Shoutouts are not in order for this episode because it's still the off season and we haven't had a bet question. But shout out to everyone who listens as always, and shout out to my eye doctor who we were talking about off the air earlier. So yeah, you can follow us on Twitter or whatever it's called now, X, at Sunny and PHX Pod. It's still there. YouTube, Sunny and PHX Podcast. And yeah, if you give us a comment or if it's still called a tweet or whatever, I'll still respond. For now, we still have a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Is the tweet going to become an X?
I don't know.
I really don't know. I mean, we're all on board with it being called a tweet.
Yeah.
It took a long time for everybody to figure that out. And now we're changing it.
Yep.
Shameful.
I know.
All right. Schedule release came out a few days ago. Always a fun time to see what your team's getting into this year. Let's just start off with the season opener, though, because obviously it's the first game of the season, and obviously it has some I don't want to say bad blood, but, you know, there's going to be some contention in this one. Suns versus Warriors. Chris Paul's first game against the Suns since the trade.
Yeah, they always go with a dramatic first matchup if they can. You know, KD versus the Warriors is always dramatic, and then Chris Paul being on the Warriors now. I'm excited. I think it's a great way to start. Would have loved for this one to be at home. I would have liked to go to this one, but that's okay. Yeah, start the first couple games on the road. But yeah, Suns versus Warriors, Suns at Warriors, I should say. That's, I mean, one of the best ways you could start the season.
Yeah, and Kevin Durant playing his first game in the Warriors' new arena.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
It's been a long time, but that's pretty nuts when you think about it. So that's definitely an action-packed game. I'm looking forward to that. Quick note, though. If they start Chris Paul, and I just find it hard to believe that Chris Paul would come off the bench still. And they start Steph Curry and Chris Paul at the two guard spots. How are they going to play defense?
Right.
Especially against us. Like, one of those guys is going to have to guard Beal or Booker. And that's going to be rough.
That's really funny to imagine. It's funny to imagine Chris Paul trying to guard either Beal or Booker.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he does come off the bench, though. I'd be a little surprised, but we'll have to see. But that's definitely a fun way to start things off.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm interested for the extracurricular activities. We've had the Booker versus Klay Thompson drama in the past, though I guess Klay Thompson kind of cleared that up. I think he was on Paul George's podcast, which I didn't know Paul George had a podcast. But he kind of talked about how, you know, his trash talk against Booker with the 4 rings thing, how he's like, you know, that wasn't cool. And he gave Booker a lot of props, so maybe that's cleared up. But we've had that situation before. We have the whole KD thing. Chris Paul is known to be a trash talker, and he has his antics. He's had that everywhere he's been, which they're going to be annoying now. I know I've said in the past that Chris Paul's really annoying unless he plays for your team, and then it's great. So now it's back to him being annoying. So I'm interested to see that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. There was a Chris Paul quote just today or yesterday talking about just wait until you see me and Draymond on the court together. And I hadn't thought about it like that. Because, you think of those two as guys who compete against each other and do similar things. But I never really put together that those two guys are on the same team right now. That's just going to be another dose for Warriors fans. They've been trying to back up Draymond's antics for all these years. And now, as Suns fans, we know exactly what comes with Chris Paul being on your team. So I'd say I'd almost feel bad for Warriors fans, but I don't. No,
not at all. It's going to be terrifying, though, if Chris Paul and Draymond Green start to like each other.
I think they might. From that quote, it seemed like this might be a bromance budding all of a sudden.
Oh,
no. You can't deny the competitive nature of those two.
Oh, of course,
It will be interesting, but I'm more interested to see how it actually works.
Yeah, well, we just got to hope no one gets hurt in the process.
Very true. And if anyone does, it's probably going to be Chris Paul. Next game. All right. Next one, though. Suns at Lakers. And this is the first LeBron versus Kevin Durant matchup since 2018, potentially, on the 26th.
Yeah. My guess is the Lakers will probably be resting LeBron at this point. It's game 2 of the season, so he's going to be pretty gassed. So we'll see if we actually get this matchup.
And a Lakers podcast is saying the exact same thing about Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Getting hurt. Yeah, that's
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good joke to be had, but I'd rather watch the game with both those guys, beginning of the season feeling pretty fresh. That'll be great basketball. I hope to catch that whole game.
Oh yeah. Well, and the real point is it's October 26th. It's game 2 of the season. If there's ever a game where we're going to actually see this matchup in the regular season, it's this one.
Yeah.
So
do it now.
Yeah. Get it out of the way. So that will be exciting. The Lakers kind of shocked the world by being halfway decent last year. My prediction is they probably won't be as good this year. But at the beginning of the season, it's still exciting. And at the very worst, they'll be 0-1. So, yeah, it's. I think it'll be really a fun matchup. Fun way to start the season.
Yeah, it's easier to just not worry so much about the Lakers because there's always been so much turnover in the the back end, mid end of their roster. So until they get a group who actually stick around and can build that sort of thing, that's when I'll be taking them a lot more seriously because they're not a joke. I mean, as much as I'd love to say it, they're not a joke. So we will see how that goes. Yeah, but as usual, it's going to depend on LeBron's health, Tony Davis, his health, anyone else who gets added to the team between now and then, I guess. I mean, they still have Rui and Austin Reeves, and they have some decent pieces. But, we all know that LeBron's probably gone after this year, depending on where his son gets drafted. Ugh, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about.
No.
It's going to be a fun matchup, and we're going to win by 50.
Oh, I did some Laker hating over the last few weeks.
Oh, nice.
Seems like there was just a ton of Austin Reeves posts on our NBA. I feel like I just saw so many of them, so I just downvoted every single one for like a week.
Nice. That's the key right there. If you say something, the trolls win. But if you just give the D vote and move on, then you win.
Yeah, but I did say it here.
Well, yeah,
I did acknowledge it.
That's different. Yeah. I don't even look at our NBA anymore, so
it's that's probably the way to go. I regret a lot of the things that I end up reading on there.
Right.
And I'll get a little triggered every once in a while, and that's the master plan of posters.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I don't need to read about the nephews talking about Austin Reeves.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of asking myself, should I stub my toe?
Right, exactly. Well, I want to see what happens, though. You know what happens.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it up with the juicy matchups, though. Christmas Day against Dallas Mavericks. Are we worried about the Dallas Mavericks this year? Or do we just think it's going to be Luka more or less putting the team on his back and falling short once again?
Well, it's a good question. They do still have Kyrie. I think the Mavs will be better this year than they were last year. I know they kind of intentionally missed the playoffs. And I expect them to make the playoffs this year. I'm still not super worried, but they tend to have pretty big games against us. So, I mean, the last time we played them was Kevin Durant beating them on a game-winning shot. So, I mean, yeah, they're always a tough
still
matchup.
salty, is what you're.
Well, they could be, but they always play us tough.
Yeah, it is true. That is very true. I've just never thought that Kyrie plus Luka is going to be a winning formula. And yeah, maybe regular season wins, but once you get into the playoffs, I feel like, do you really want Kyrie's presence there on and off the court?
Right.
Or could you fill that with, use that type of salary to have 2 or 3 other players who just impact winning more?
Well, I think the Mavs are going to benefit a lot from the rule changes this year.
Oh?
Since we're going to have 2 basketballs. I got him. Yeah,
as long as the Suns get 3, right?
Exactly. No, I mean, Kyrie and Luka, I don't think it's a great combo. I don't even know if Dallas fans think it's that great of a combo, but I don't really know what they're saying. So, yeah, I'm with you. Is Kyrie worth all that money when he's not a great fit on the team, just from a basketball standpoint? And, they need depth. Their whole thing was get Luka help. And I don't know how much Kyrie really helps Luka.
Yeah, I think in some ways, sure, Kyrie is a benefit to the Mavericks, but I think the ways that it either negatively affects them or just doesn't work outweighs everything else. That's kind of how I'm assuming, even once we get this full season of those two, potentially. I don't know if it's going to be the winning formula for them over in Dallas, and I hope it stays that way, and I hope they don't win an NBA title for the rest of my life.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Likewise.
All right, that felt good. So, in-season tournament. We got Tuesdays and Fridays during November, and then we're in the group with the Lakers, Jazz, Grizzlies, and Blazers. And I feel like, Ja won't be playing in this, but there's going to be some pretty stiff competition in our little group here.
I actually really like this. I don't know why this didn't occur to me, but this may have been on Twitter or X or whatever. This may have been somewhere on there that someone pointed out that Tuesdays and Fridays are the 2 days that there's no NFL football. So I'm like, that's actually really cool. That gives people something to watch where, there's a lot of more casual NBA fans who don't start paying attention until the new year even, or maybe Christmas. So this gives them a little bit more of a reason to start paying attention earlier, and it won't interfere with football. So I actually think this is an interesting idea. We know that the prize for all of this is money, and it's probably not enough to really move the needle and get guys to care about this. But I've been in favor of this in-season tournament for a long time because we're playing these games anyway, so we might as well give it a little bit more meaning early on in the season.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said there, but I think there's going to be some teams due to some players who are just too dang competitive, who are going to say we're winning this midseason tournament. We're playing balls out for these games, and then if you get guys leading like that, everyone else will fall in line. And like, do you think Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are going to be like, I don't care if we don't win this? I have a feeling they're going to want to win it just to win it.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Those guys are competitors, and there's plenty of them in the league. Don't get me wrong, but when your top two guys are guys like that, I think that's going to really benefit that situation. And yeah, I hope there's a lot of eyes on it. I hope this works out. It's just, all in all, they're just regular season games, so it's not like it's changing the season at all. Right. So it doesn't bother me in any way. I think it's going to be great, and I hope it does reach a lot of success, and then maybe they can add more or better prizes next year if they're like, oh, we got X more million viewers on these games in the midseason tournament compared to other games during the week.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I know the WNBA has a mid-season tournament, and it seems to be something that the players like. It's not quite to the level of like European soccer, where the mid-season tournaments mean almost as much as like winning your league. And I don't think we'll ever really get close to that in basketball. But if it can even get close, like somewhat similar, if it can be kind of meaningful, I think that's great.
100%. All right. And this seems wrong, but we're on national TV 37 games.
Yeah.
Almost half of the season is on national TV.
Yep.
That includes NBA TV, correct?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's funny to me because, you know, it's a big deal that Matt Ishbia said, you know, Suns games are going to be broadcast over the air so more people can watch them. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of these national games. And how does that work? Even the national TV games, do they still get broadcast over the air?
I guess I don't know how that'll end up working out. Man, I don't know. It's been so long since it was an agreement with a local broadcaster. Like, I don't even know how that's going to work.
Yeah. Because the NBA, in the past, all the NBA TV games were still on Bally Sports or Fox Sports Arizona.
Yeah.
In the past. But then anything that was on like ESPN or TNT was just on those networks. So I kind of hope it's not the same deal, because if half your games you're not going to be able to watch over the air, that defeats the whole purpose. So hopefully over the air will still be an option.
I'm just thinking, like, comparing it to the NFL. You get your local game and it gets blacked out for everybody else if they're trying to watch it nationally.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that'll go. I'd love if if it were on both, that would be fantastic.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And if you think about it, I don't know the exact amount of games on NBA TV, but I mean, are we going to give Eddie Johnson that many days off?
No.
We need Eddie every game, man.
Right. I think a lot of these games are NBA TV games.
Yeah, that does make sense. I should have the schedule pulled up, but still 37 games available to the national audience. That's wild. Coming from when we had 2 or 3 a few years ago.
Well, I mean, friend of the show, the man who needs no introduction but gets a really long one anyway, who started wearing contacts recently, Josh Cranwetter, at Josh Cran on X, he said, wow, the Pacers only have one nationally broadcast game, because he's a Pacers fan. And I said, isn't that one more than last year? And he said yes. So I remember those days all too well. I mean, I remember when we didn't have any national games.
Yeah, and the Pacers aren't even like a dumpster fire.
No,
they're
halfway decent.
If they had 10, I wouldn't be shocked, But one. That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
but yeah, 37 for us. So, I mean, my plan was to get YouTube TV anyway for the NFL stuff now that it's over there.
Yeah.
But it was going to be one of those things of, do I just get the NFL Sunday ticket thing with no live TV? But looks like I'm going to have to get the live TV.
Well, it's for a good cause. It's for Phoenix Suns basketball.
And we were thinking about this just today. Do you have YouTube TV? Are you going to do that whole deal?
I don't currently, but I'll probably do it by the time the season starts. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if you get ad-free, like regular YouTube videos when you have that?
Ooh. That's tough. Isn't there something called YouTube Premium that?
Yeah.
I don't know if those are combined at that point.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know how
question.
that works either.
That'd be nice though.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Something to look into. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously a fun season scheduled here. 37 national TV games. That's crazy. A lot of people will get eyes on the Suns this year, and then go on Twitter/X and talk smack about them. And I can't wait.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move it on. We just talked about Ishbia, and let's talk about one of the bigger, a huge win for him since joining the team, since buying the team. Shawn, Marion, and Amare Stoudemire are going to have their numbers retired and added to the Ring of Honor, and it is about dang time.
Yeah, this is great. It will number 32 for Stoudemire will be retired, not 1, which is fitting. He wore 32 for longer, and Devin Booker is 1, so 1 will be retired soon enough.
Right.
But yeah, like this is just, it's been such a long time coming, and I don't want to bring too much negativity into this, but we all know the reason why this hasn't happened yet is because of Robert Sarver. So like, so exciting that this is finally happening, and we don't know what game they're gonna do all these festivities at, but I would really like to be there.
I would love to be at that game, and as soon as they announce it, those tickets are going to sell so fast.
Oh yes, yeah.
I would love to get there, and I'll probably do something stupid and pay double or triple to get in the gym if I have to get it off StubHub or whatever later. I might be dumb enough to do that, but I was at the Steve Nash Ring of Honor induction.
Oh, that's right. You were.
And it was amazing. It was so cool. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to share a night, these two. You'd think you'd give them each their own night.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I'd say they probably deserve that after all the time it's taken.
Yeah.
But it's a special time. It was so cool seeing all the Suns Ring of Honor guys who are still with us. They were all there to support Steve when he got there, and it was just cool being in the gym with all those guys and all the legends from the Suns, and like Amare and Matrix, man, they were my guys in high school. I loved watching that team play together, and it's beyond time, and I'm very happy that it's going down.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are the reason I'm a Suns fan. I mean, Nash too, but Marion, Stoudemire, all three of them, they're why I'm here right now.
Yeah. Man, I'd argue and say throw Barbosa in there too, just for the...
Yeah, oh yeah. That'd be great.
It.
Throw Kurt Thomas in there.
Just throw the whole squad. Yeah. From that, like, a 3 or 4 year period probably in there. Just put them all in there.
Yeah. Raja Bell and Boris Diaw, that's a little more obvious.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm just so happy this is going down, and I can't wait for it to happen. And, even if we're not able to get into the gym, they'll put some sort of and even now more so that we're doing the local broadcast thing, they're going to have everything set up. You'll be able to see all the speeches and everything. I think that'll be great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All right, so looking forward to that. And what else do we got before we wrap things up? We got Ayton and Eric Gordon, the odd couple, playing for Team Bahamas. And I saw Eric Gordon with...
Got a hot shot. Sorry, I'm recording in the car. No, just
But I saw Eric Gordon throw down quite a thunderous dunk.
That's right.
And, I'm thinking I'm like a year or two older than Eric Gordon. I'm an inch taller. And I couldn't do that on a 9-foot hoop right now. So just seeing, he's an NBA athlete. But when you put in the age factor and just know, like, Eric Gordon doesn't look like a world-class athlete, but he's taking care of himself.
Oh,
and
totally.
Just seeing that made me think, okay, this guy is going to be an excellent fit on the team.
Yeah. And I know Ayton and Gordon aren't like the go-to combo we're excited to see, but I think having them get some experience playing together is going to be good. I mean, any two guys from our team playing in this international tournament that's happening is going to be good.
Totally. It just seems like get veterans around DA and just keep it that way. And yes. we're set up pretty well for that situation. And I bet Eric Gordon and Bradley Beal won't come close to rubbing DA the wrong way like Chris Paul did for the last couple of years.
That's a good point.
So yeah. I think that'll be good. And yeah, it's just cool. That Bahamas team, they have Buddy Hield too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they got some hoopers there. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean DA has looked good. It's really hard to look too much into this because the competition hasn't been very good. But I think the more DA can play, the better. And he looks great. He looks like he's really kept up with the work in the summer, and I'm hoping he's just ready to go when the season starts.
Yeah, you can say for sure that he definitely didn't put on any extra weight over the offseason. He looked real trim, which is I'd say that's a good thing. As much as I'd love to see him put on a bunch of muscle and just become a beast, seeing that he's taking care of himself in that way is great. Yeah. He'll be able to, and if you think about it, one of the more fluid centers in the league, like from block to block, can run pretty quickly. I'm happy to see all that, and I hope he builds a bunch of confidence playing against the guys that he is here, and just takes it over to the regular season.
Yeah,
and does work in the paint. He has such good touch down there. I just hope we can take advantage of that this year.
Totally. All right. Well, quicker episode. It's the off season, so this is going to happen. So let's move to the non-sports section of the show. And I just thought of this one kind of randomly, and maybe we've talked about it before. I don't even know. But how organized are you?
I'm an interesting case in this one. I'd say that I'm so organized that I can let things get messy and still be organized and know where everything is, but it'll get to the point where I'll have to do a big giant cleanup. So I'm like 50-50. I'm half slob, half very organized.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm similar, but it's more in that I would say I'm very organized, but not always outwardly. Like, I will have a pile of things, but I'll know where everything is. I think over the years I've gotten better about having less, piles per se. I think about, mentally, though. I have a lot of different lists of things going all the time, and I used to try not to write stuff down, but now I have to. So I always have a few different lists going, and I kind of like it that way. And it's a little bit, I guess, quirky how I do it sometimes. Some of my lists I physically write. Some of them are on my phone. some of them are like on a whiteboard that we have. So they're all in different places, but I know where everything is. So it's kind of nice.
I'm similar, but with items, if we have anything in the house that gets set aside and left somewhere for a while, if my wife can't find it and she asks me, I will just instantly know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
It's like a weird sixth sense type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it's like that could be in one of 3 places. So if you haven't checked those 3, start there.
Yeah, I have a photographic memory for junk that gets left in my house, and I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right. I like that. This was a quick one. We had things to talk about, but we kept it quick. I think that's fair. I think everyone should appreciate that. We didn't go on and on for an hour and a half about it. That's an efficient podcast, right?
We'll
there.
save that for the regular season.
That's very true. When we're breaking down games, that's where we thrive, talking about the actual ball on the court. But anyways, we thank you all for tuning in. Like we said, Twitter /X at Sunny and PHX Pod, YouTube Sunny and PHX Podcast, and we will see you in a week or so. Thanks for tuning in. Go Suns.